Hi, I'm Beth and welcome to my channel where I discuss all things weight loss and Mounjaro. Today I'm going to talk you through taking your first shot of Mounjaro and hopefully reassure you about the needle if you're at all concerned. I would say I'm going to hold your hand, but you'll need both hands for this. Everything you need to know is in this video and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have in the comments below. At this point, I should say I'm not a nurse, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a hod carrier, I'm not a ballerina, I'm not quite a lot of things. The point is, this is not medical advice, this is all drawn from my personal experience. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel as it really helps. Now it's time to shoot your shot. If you're new to my channel, I should say that I've been on Mounjaro for over a year now. I took my first jab in May 2024 and had reached my goal by Christmas 2024, and I'm now in maintenance. I started out at 14 stone, which is 196 pounds, and I reached my goal of 140 pounds or 10 stone by Christmas. I'm now in maintenance, although I've accidentally managed to lose another £5 somehow. So now I'm 135 pounds, or that's 9 stone 9. And here's a picture of me arsing about, and this is how I look today. As I've been on Mounjaro for over a year now, I've taken at least a dozen of these shots, and taking them doesn't really faze me at all. However, I was extremely worried about taking my first shot. It sat in my fridge for a couple of weeks before I plucked up the courage. I think that's because I'm not a big fan of needles, and I'd imagine the Mounjaro needle to be like the needles you get when you have a blood draw or when you have a vaccination. They're really not, and I'll show you exactly how big or small they are right now. First off, I should say I intend to dispose of any needle I touch today. I take hygiene and sterility extremely carefully, as should we all. Whenever you're handling needles, do so with clean hands and in a clean environment. I'll talk about disposal of needles later in this video, and I'll include in the description links to any needles or any products I talk about today. So for comparison, I'm going to show you some different size needles, ending with the Mounjaro needle, just so you can see how small it is. First off, we have a 13mm needle. Now you might be familiar with this. This is the kind you get for injections or like vaccinations, that kind of thing. It is quite a long needle, and this is what I really expected the Mounjaro needle to look like. Thankfully, they don't, as you'll see quite soon. Now the next needle I'm going to look at is an 8mm needle. This is an insulin needle. It's a lot smaller than the first one. This is designed for injecting insulin, and it is sterile. The first one not necessarily, this one definitely is. I ordered these because I tend to take the fifth dose from my pen, and I'll make a video soon about how that's done if anyone's interested. So that's the 8mm needle. Now the third needle is the Mounjaro needle. This is 4mm. It's used on the quickpen. I'm going to put it on the pen just now so you can actually see what it looks like in real life. It is tiny, to be honest. I barely notice it when it goes in. I have to look carefully and closely to see if this actually gone in sometimes. If it wasn't for the little pin prick, little bit of blood at the end, I wouldn't be sure if it went in. Right, first of all, you take an alcohol wipe, and I'll put a link in the description for where you can get those. You wipe off the end of the needle before putting the syringe. So here it is, just turn till it's securely on. Okay, take the little tip off. Now, I hope you can see just how small that is. I'm going to compare it to the other two. Obviously it's half the size of the 8mm and a lot smaller than the 13mm. It really is barely noticeable. Now before you use a pen, you're supposed to prime it
All priming does is show that the liquid's actually coming out. So you give it a couple of clicks, press the end, give it a flick to get rid of any bubbles, and now the needle is primed and ready to use. I microdose, which means I don't take a full dose these days because it's much cheaper that way. You buy a bigger pen and you take smaller doses. That's why I order lots of these little Mounjaro needles. Here are the parts of the body where Eli Lilly tells us to inject Mounjaro. It's a diagram that comes in the box with the pen. Now, there's a lot of debate online about the best injection site. For me, it's been my upper arm, but for your first shot, it's probably best and easiest to go with your tummy, just for ease of access, and as we've all got a bit of fat there to go at, so let's go there. So now we've seen how tiny the needle is and where we should place it, let's go for it. Just grab a little bit of fat on your tummy, take an alcohol wipe just to clean the area and sterilise everything first. I'll put a link in the description where you can buy these. So let's give it a little wipe before we reach for the pen, which I already primed. Now I'm going to click all the way around. You're looking for the number 1, which is actually 60 clicks of the pen, and in the window it shows the number 1 there. Yep, ready to go. I think we can all see the number 1. Don't know why I laboured that point particularly, but yeah, grab the bit of flesh, still a bit wet from the wipe, and put the plunger in. You can barely notice it. You're going to squeeze down. When it's fully down, you hold it for 10 seconds, which I didn't do, take the pen out, use the same top for the syringe to unscrew it, screw, and then this little bit of syringe that comes off is going to go in the bin. And the dance at the end is optional.
And that, as they say, is that. Only takes 2 minutes, it doesn't hurt. Now, as far as disposing of your syringes go, every council will have its own arrangements for collecting your sharp spin. I've checked mine, I just fill in a form online and they arrange to come and collect. Haven't done it as yet because although I've been using Mounjaro for a year, I've yet to fill my bin. And when I do, I'll go online and get the council to collect it. And that's it. I hope this video has provided some reassurance for anyone who was worried about using the pen for the first time. They're small needles, they don't hurt. If you'd like any more information, please drop a comment in the comments. I'll see if I can help. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.